You're watching Talk Minute, and I'm here, CJ. Welcome back to another album ranking, and today's album ranking will be of Black Label Society, a band that I've wanted to rank for the longest time, and one that I'm finally getting to. Honestly, this one was very hard to. It was very hard to rank these albums. The bottom wasn't really that hard, but the top was very hard to rank because, like, they have some really good albums at the top. Down below, there's some that I kind of don't like as much as some of the other ones in their discography, but still good. Still good parts, still reasons to listen to them. But yeah, 11 studio albums out of 11. Let's get into it. Which number 11 is Shot to Hell from 2006. I think most people would agree with this. What is with all the ballads on this album? The album starts with Concrete Jungle, which is like by far one of their best songs, and then it's just ballad after ballad after ballad after ballad, and it's just, yeah. That's the reason why it's here. 7 out of 10. I kind of get a little bit pissed off from listening to this one because, like, okay, what's with all the damn ballads all over the place? But the ballads are still good. It's still a good album and still, like, fun to listen to, but I just want to listen to other ones. Honestly, I just want to listen to other ones. Saying that with ballads and stuff. Number 10 is Hangover Music Volume 6. Not what I like with Black Label Society. It's basically an acoustic album, which for me is not preferred with this band. I would prefer the metal, the heavy metal, the hard-hitting Black Label Society sound that I've loved for years. It's still good, but compared to everything Black Label has done, yeah, 7 out of 10. Another 7 out of 10, kind of on the same level as Shot to Hell, but I would say Shot to Hell is not as good as that one either. Number 9, going through these quite quick. Number 9 is Grimace Hits from 2018. This album has some of the same problems mentioned about the two below it on the list. It's too ballady, which when the heaviness kicks in, it is weak. Overall production, weak. But in the guitar tone, meh. Honestly, the actual progression, riffs, and solos is what saves it, honestly. The solos are fucking epic. The solos are fucking awesome. And the riffs are actually awesome as well. The Betrayal, for example, probably the best one on here. The riffs are great on that song. But yeah, the guitar tone is a little bit not loud, not Black Label-y enough, as I would say. Next one I do not own on CD, which is Catacombs of the Black Vatican, the first 10 out of 10 album from 2014. I don't listen to this one too often, but when I do, it hits the spot. The sound of the album is wonderful, sounding similar in tone to the previous album, showing Black Label was going for a new direction head first. They abandoned that with their newest album, which we will be getting to, as it's actually somewhat high on the list. While being nowhere near the classic albums of this band, it's still worth the listen. The slow songs are pretty interesting. The album is actually legitimately heavy, and the quality is on point. The best song here is Heart of Darkness. I'm pretty sure that one's a ballad. But yeah, it's just an epic song. I just love that song. Number 7, gonna move up the list. Number 7 is going to be Stronger Than Death. This placement may surprise, but I think it's not as strong as some of the other albums in their discography. Better production than Sonic Brew, but not as strong of songs, as I think Sonic Brew just has better songs on it. And it is nowhere near 1919's songs. This album being low doesn't mean it is bad. But just Black Label Society has a fantastic discography above it and below it too. I absolutely love the albums below it too. But songs that I find to be highlights are Phony Smiles and Fake Hellos, Just Killing Time, and Rust. But the best, and the Rust solo that solo is one of their better, so it was one of Black Label's best solos. But the best song on here is 13 Years of Grief. Absolutely a classic. 10 out of 10. Again, another 10 out of 10 album. Pretty good at number 7. Number 6 is the brand new one, Doom Crew Inc. from 2021. I missed this one in 2021 and didn't even know it came out. But it's great, like their classics, the shredding, the tone, the ballads, they actually hit pretty hard. Really fucking good album. I was invested all the way through, as each song is fantastic. The return of the OG sound mixed with some of the new makes this one a fine album for Black Label Society. Standouts include Set You Free, Destroy and Conquer, Farewell, the Farewell Ballad, the last song on the album, which is fucking epic with that solo that's in that song, and Ruins. But the best one, however, on this album is Forsaken. Probably one of my favorite Black Label Society songs, and it appearing on one of their newer albums is quite rare, but I absolutely love this album. I think it's one of their better, I think it's one of their best albums at number 6. It just means everything above it is just fucking epic. Number 5, Order of the Black from 2010. You already know the top 4. You already know the top 4 now. I forget how truly amazing this album is. I don't really listen to it too often. I've actually neglected listening to it for a very long time. Debuting a different sound for Black Label Society while still keeping that what we love. Order of the Black really is great. Some of Black Label's most underrated material, like Riders of the Damned, absolutely fucking awesome song too. Southern Disillusion, riff's amazing on that one, and then Crazy Horse. This album rips from front to back. Order of the Black is way better than Shot to Hell, as Order of the Black isn't predominantly ballads like Shot to Hell was. Best song here is that classic Overlord. If you know that, it's one of the more recognizable songs, and one that gets played quite often. So yeah, number 5, Order of the Black. Number 4 is going to be quite controversial. Mafia at number 4 from 2005. I see this one at number 1 on most lists I see. I agree it's a fantastic album, but I think there is albums even better than this one. With a discography that's completely stacked with classics, Mafia would be any other band's best album, but this is Black Label Society, which seems to be able to push out classic after classics back to back in years because, well, yeah, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. 2004 was one of the bottom, but yeah, and then 2000s, like, this band is an absolute fucking workhorse, honestly. Back then, like, in the early 2000s, this band was an absolute fucking workhorse at that time. In This River, Suicide Messiah, and Fire It Up are some of Black Label's most recognizable songs, and usually the ones that they play live. In This River being absolutely fucking epic. The solo is just the best, however, is Forever Down. Kind of a weird pick for the best on this album, but I just have always loved that song. I always love how that song goes and how the riffs sound. Number 3, The Blessed Hell Ride. Heavier and more intense than the 3 released before it. The Blessed Hell Ride is amazing. I've heard some people say the tone sucks, which is just an absolutely fucking awful take, as I think the tone is fucking ballsy even for Black Label Society. Probably their best guitar tone ever. It's like a Pantera tone, but even more hard-hitting, which is quite unbelievable at itself. But if you've never heard this album, fucking check it out, because, like, yeah, you've been fucking missing out on one of the best albums. Songs like Stoned and Drunk, aka the intense opener, Doomsday Jesus, Stillborn, and the title track, and it's basically back-to-back bangers all the way through. Best on this album, however, is Funeral Bell. one of their classics and one of their most listened to on Spotify. Don't really listen to Spotify too much for Black Label. I usually just go with the CDs because that's what I basically have. I have Black Label's the CD. Yeah. Number 2, kind of a weird one to have this high, is the debut Sonic Brew. I've seen people say this isn't a very good album, which I have to say they are wrong. Yeah, they are absolutely wrong when someone says that this is a bad album or just not that good. Like, what the fuck are you listening to, honestly? I love this album. I get the production isn't the best, but for me, that's one of the elements that makes this album, mixed with the soul progression and squealing, just one of their have to listen to albums and one of their best albums. Is that just the bad production? The bad production kind of brings it out a lot more. Sonic Brew is a wonderful debut, and I don't care what some fans say. It's one of Black Label Society's best. It debuts the signature sound of their more successful releases. Best song here is Rose Petaled Garden, but Peddlers of Death and Low Down are also standouts. 10 out of 10. Honestly, a 10 out of 10 album. One of the best albums that they ever did. I don't get why people have that one low. I don't fucking get it. It's the debut album. It sounds fantastic. And number 1, 1919 Eternal from 2002, the finest Black Label Society album and my go-to album. The best songs that Black Label has ever done. The whole album is just fantastic from front to back. The tone is potent, the riffs hit harder than any other album from them, the solos are the best of their career. 1919 Eternal is one of my favorite albums ever released. It's just pure perfection from front to back. There's no going wrong with it. Songs like Bleed For Me, Demise of Sanity, Bridge to Cross being just like just fucking awesome. It's just an awesome song. Speedball, Battering Ram, Graveyard Disciples, Genocide Junkies, Mass Murder Machine, Berserkers, just fucking back-to-back amazing badass album and my favorite Black Label album. It will never change. Honestly, it's the one that I go to most often, the one I've listened to over and over. I'm surprised the CD even still works. That's how much I've listened to that one. But yeah, that's how I rank Black Label Society. Hope everyone liked it, and I will see everyone whenever I upload again. Yeah, peace.